In a previous video, we brushed on some of the weird behaviors Rick Forcier exhibited in the months after Maura Murray's disappearance. Today we'll analyze his Stalker Song video, his responses in the comments, and some of the rumors and accusations about him. As we look at this music video, you ought to remember that this is a man suspected of committing a real, actual, true-life murder. The first few frames of Rick's video instantly put us on guard. He makes it a point to state this is all based on a true story. We'd like to know just what that story is, Rick. Because directly after telling us that, a female appears on his front porch, tapes a note to the door, and hides on a cold, dark night. Were the accusations about Rick to be believed, this is pretty identical to how the situation would have played out, probably minus the note. He depicts himself acting wacky in his trailer, doing things such as standing on his head, and eventually walks into town to see a psychic who paints his hands red at the end of the reading. The Murray case has brought in many psychics, so this could be yet another subtle hint towards the case. And it of course seems to end with what I can only deem to be a representation of blood on his hands. The video is made in just a way to afford himself deniability, but the similarities are remarkable. In the previous video, we made mention of Rick arguing in the comments, as both himself and possibly under fake accounts. While the vast majority of both Rick and those fake accounts' comments have been deleted, responses to them haven't, so we can get a pretty good idea of what was said. The two main accounts he's accused of using are Jiggly Krause and Sam Loomis, the latter of which is the only remaining active one. We don't know for sure that it is Rick himself, but it's at least someone close to him, as they make mention of knowing his address and refusing to give it in one of the responses to a deleted comment. Whether Rick or someone close to him, he eventually realized he wasn't doing himself any favors with his behavior and deleted the comments from both the Rick Forcier and Jiggly Krause accounts. There's also Clifton Gould, a guy who knew Rick years ago, remembers lots of cool details about him, and wants you to know he's a good guy and is trying to get back in touch with him, but seems to be the only person in the world that can't find any information on Rick Forcier being involved in the Maura Murray case. While all of this seems damning enough, it gets much worse for Rick if the claims made by private investigator Guy Paradee on the 107 Degree podcast are to be believed. Paradee claims knowledge of Rick's interactions with law enforcement, which include Rick allegedly stating to them that Maura came to his door, wanted to have sex with him, and then left afterwards. Guy claims the stall in the case is due to law enforcement's certainty of Rick's guilt and their inability to prove it. While anything regarding Rick Forcier can't be 100% verified, a man with behavior this odd owes the public an explanation, and until he gives it, we'll be right there searching for more Rick.